Nobody starts at the finish line. You have to start somewhere. In order for you to get to where you're going, to meet that destination, you can't think that you're going to get there instantly.
Welcome to another episode of the Mr. Mindful Minute podcast, where we touch on different things of different areas of life on how we could go from a nothing place to a something place. And today I have a special guest. And what better person to introduce themselves than that person themselves? Please tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do.
Hello, everybody. My name is Deshante Fuqua, and I go by Coach Day, the encouragement coach. And I am the founder of All Day Beauty and Empowerment, where I coach women on how to build their confidence, how to shift out of negative mindsets and into positive ones, and how to begin to walk in their purpose so that they can live a vibrant life intentionally.
I like that last one. You said intentionally, right? Because a lot of times we do stuff unintentional. Like we go on autopilot with so much stuff in life, right? Even when it comes to maintenance in ourselves, we be like, well, I always go get my hair cut and my hair done and my nails done and this and shave or whatever. But why are you doing? Oh, because I want to intentional. You intentionally are trying to have a certain disposition towards yourself. So I love what you're doing and helping people. So again, thank you for your contribution. Question now though is, what got you into deciding to be an empowerment coach?
Well, it's so funny. Well, I just recently this year, I got a coach, Coach T, and he is amazing. I found him on Instagram and I was reading his posts and I got to talking with him. And he was just like, well, do you do this? And do you do this? He's asking me questions. And I'm like, yeah, I do that. I've been doing that since I was probably a kid, He's like, well, you're already coaching. You're already doing it, giving people advice. People call me when they need advice. People call me when they're in a crisis situation. People have trusted me with like most intimate information. And I'm like, are you sure you want to be telling me? It's like, like maybe you want to talk to somebody. Like, no, I want to talk to you. I trust you, And so I was like, okay, I took that was a big responsibility. It's a really big deal. So I was like, I didn't realize I was doing that, but okay. So I just really got intentionally into doing it this year. But honestly, God made me naturally to be an encourager. That's why I'm an encouragement coach. I would cheer you on. I encourage everybody that I can because I love to see people win. I have gone through depression. I've gone through being angry, being just lost in the world, trying to find my place. And so I thank God when I found my place and I found my purpose and I understood why I'm here and what I'm meant to be doing. I was like, yes, now I can go forth and really just be about what I'm supposed to do. And it feels good to do what I love to do. And it makes other people feel good. And so I'll encourage you. Like if I see, I'm gonna be like, yes, go, keep going. You can do it. Why you can't do it? Tell me why you can't do it. So I just got on it and like I've been doing it ever since, and I love it. I used to spend more time at work on the phone helping people. I'd be like, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back. What's wrong? What's going on? And I'm like in there coaching them and helping them talk through this, think through this, sort this out in their mind, reframe it to where it's like, okay, life is not over. I can go on with the day, And so I'm like, I'm doing this more than what I'm doing. This is where I should be.
So. Listen, look, sound like a calling to me, right? Sound like a calling to me 100%. And something that you spoke about was like dealing with depression and empowerment. And so that brings this question here. What tip do you give somebody that is going through depression or dealing with depression? How do they empower themselves, and how would you empower them?
I would empower them by telling them the first thing: when you're depressed, you don't want to come out. You don't want to be around people. Like for me, when I was around, I could be around a whole bunch of people and I felt lonely. I felt out of place. I felt like, why am I here? There's no purpose for me here. My smile was gone, and I'm silly. If y'all know, you can't tell, but I'm silly, goofy, laugh all the time, joke. And nothing was funny to me anymore. Nothing made me smile. Nothing made me laugh. I might smile because I didn't want anybody to ask me what's wrong, So it's the natural instinct is to cover it up and to hide or to isolate yourself. But that's the worst thing that you can do, because it just sinks you deeper and deeper and deeper into isolation, which makes you feel lonely. And it's like a dark place, there's no light. There's nobody encouraging you. There's nobody checking on you. So I would say if you're really feeling depressed, be around, not I'm gonna say be around everybody, because you can't be around everybody. Everybody's spirits are not good. Everybody's energy and intentions are not good for you. But if you know just one person that cares for you truly and love you truly, that you can trust and talk to, you don't even have to tell them what's going on. People that know you, they'll know, they can sense those things. Just be around people that are love. Be around people that make you smile. Be around people that's gonna, you didn't eat today, I fix you. So I ain't gonna ask you if you're gonna eat. They just gonna bring you a plate. Like, here, eat this. And whatever you eat. They're not gonna trip. But they're gonna make sure, hey, did you wash your face today, girl? Go put some on your, here, I bought you an outfit. They gonna tell you clothes looking crazy, you dress crazy. Yeah, I bought you this outfit. Try this on, see how it looks. Get around people that would just move you and push you and guide you gently, back into some joy. Listen to music. Like I said, I'm a music person, so I'm always going to talk about music. Listen to positive music, inspirational things that are uplifting, things that say, I'm beautiful, like India Ari, I'm not my hair, I'm not my skin, I'm the soul that lives within. Listen to things like that, and then start to believe those things. Tell yourself those things, that's what I would suggest to start off with.
That is, definitely true. Because it really helps us to gravitate out of that space. Because everything that I heard, what you said was, you don't want to do certain things. Like if you're a person that likes to laugh and you're funny, you don't want to do any of the things that you normally would do. Mm-hmm. Because you're literally not who you normally are. It's almost as if you put a mask on your head where you look the same, but you said you're in a dark place, right? The eyes are actually even covered. You can't even, there's no light coming in at all. You just can breathe. And you're just there. You like, so everybody else sees this smile, but you like, ain't no smile there. But y'all see this mask that I got covered over my head. And so it's very important for us to make sure that we are giving the proper attention to ourselves in a positive way, such as listening to music and things like that, and being around people that is going to invoke a sense of joy into us, because we don't necessarily want to be around anybody. You like, nah, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Even though that's who, you're like, nah, I really enjoy being around people. But I'm good right now. I'm okay on that. So I like those tips. Those are definitely some really, really good tips for us to make sure we're paying attention to and things like that, so we can help ourselves, because nobody can help us no much more than we're trying to help ourselves. And so by listening to music, that's you helping yourself, because you're hearing words that's invoking positive feelings towards you. I like that. I see you.
And one more. I forgot one really important one, because everything I do, like I said, I'm biblical. So, we always talk about affirmations, and the world is taking on affirmations, but I always believe the Bible is like the ultimate, like, original affirmation. I did a lot of reading, a lot of Bible. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It says I can do all things. You know what I mean? Things that tells you what to think on things that are lovely, that are pure, that are good report. It tells you these things. And I started reading those and then saying those things and speaking those things too. What am I thinking about? I'm not thinking, is this not a good report? This is not positive. This is not lovely. Why am I replaying this in my mind? It's making me more angry. It's making me upset. It's making me want to go to a darker place. Let me come to the light. Let me shift my mindset. That's why I always talk about shifting mindsets. Let me shift to another thought. Sometimes we get stuck on a thought. Somebody does something that angers us or hurts us. We get stuck and we replay it. We talk to everybody about it, and we don't realize the more you keep talking to somebody about it, and you keep retelling it and replaying it, it makes you, and you're reliving it over and over. And then each time you're getting more and more upset. And it's like, how are you ever going to come out of that if you keep living in that moment? You have to come out of that moment.
Right. And that's very, very true. When we see people that are in those spaces and they're choosing, because we fall back on what we know, not what we don't know. And so you'll start choosing to actually perpetuate the negative feeling that you have. So as you said, you got to start finding an outside source. And so for as you're recommending to people, the Bible, right? Seeing that all things, as you said, all things, it doesn't matter what it is, right?
Mhm.
So whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, it doesn't matter what it is. It says all things. But you have to actually believe these things as well, because it cannot just be wishful thinking. It's not just a matter of, oh, well, that sounds good. I kind of think that it'll work. Well, then it's not going to work, because you have already accepted in your mind and in your heart that it will not work. So you're going to be looking for ways for it to not work. But when you have accepted that it will work, you're going to be looking for ways or opportunities for it to work. And you're going to say, oh, this is the opportunity for me to exercise what I said I wanted. Yes, that's something that we definitely have to do. It is very important. And spirituality is like very key, very key. And everybody has their own different forms of what they gravitate towards as far as spirituality. But what you're saying is it's very important for us to 100% believe whatever it is that we're going to believe. For you, it is the Bible.
Yes.
You choose to believe it. So we have to choose to believe what we're going to actually believe in order for us to exercise what it is that we're believing, because we made a conscious decision to choose.
Very well
All
said.
right.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so now when it comes to somebody being in power, right? Doesn't that mean that every single thing that they do has to be positive? Doesn't that mean that?
I don't know if it means that I don't think that every single thing that we do will be positive. I think for empowering yourself means, like I said with my poems, right? I wrote my poems to get out my anger. I wrote those things, and I would just say what I felt. I just wrote it out raw. And then at the end, I looked at it and I'm like, dang, this is a lot of negativity. So I was like, when I want people to read it, I don't want people to just be left on negative. Like, okay, so at the end, I want to put a positive spin on it. I want to add some hope, but it's a shift. So I don't think that we're not perfect. We're gonna have some bad days. We're gonna have some things that we say that we have to apologize for. Some moments, so we don't feel like dealing. Like I said, we don't feel like dealing with people, and it's not that we don't love them. Just sometimes it's tired, and when we're not taking care of ourselves, can't take care of anybody else. It's just, it's not possible. But I think it's just about putting a positive spin on whatever it is. I could be like, I'm so tired. I don't feel like talking to anybody today. I don't feel like doing anything. But you know what? God gave me life. He gave me breath. I can move. I'm well. Let me put on my face, wash myself up, and, let me get out here and make the best of this day, putting the positivity into it. And that's empowering me, because now it's like, okay, you know what? There's somebody out there that needs some love and some encouragement. And as I love and encourage somebody else, guess what? They love and encourage me back. We reflect what each other does. Like when I'm talking to you, I'm reflecting you, you're reflecting me. We're bouncing off each other. So I could have started feeling real tired, but I see you smiling, you light up, and then we like, oh, okay, yeah, you doing this. I love this. And I'm like, well, I love it too, then let's go. It's that energy. It's bringing, that gives you your empowerment. That gives you the excitement. That gives you the motivation to keep going. And always positive.
Now, and the reason that I asked that question is because sometimes people tend to think that you're going to always be that way. And you're going to always be bubbly and excited and it's this and it's that. No, that's not true, right? But what you're saying is when we're feeling that, we like, no, I'm going to intentionally look for a reason to. And so even if it's, I'm gonna be nice to the next person, because as you said, we become a reflection. I always say, like every single individual that you interact with, well, that's just a reflection of yourself on how you engage with that person. So as you said, well, I see that you are extra bubbly, so it makes me extra bubbly. Like, you ever have a situation where you just like somebody is laughing really, really hard, and you just like, yo, I don't know what it is, but like the way you laugh, I just want to laugh there.
It's contagious, yeah.
Right.
I don't even know why you're laughing, but the way you're laughing is so funny. I'm just laughing too. Like, now tell me why we laughing.
Yeah. Right. And then and it happens like that. And it's the same thing for, as you spoke about, really that empowerment, right? So what is something you think people have the hardest time on accepting the empowerment from other people?
Say that one more time. The hardest part that they have on accepting the empowerment?
Accepting empowerment from other people. So you as an empowerment coach, have you found that people sometimes find it hard to accept empowerment?
Oh, yes, definitely. And I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier. It goes back to your belief. Just like when I said, when we spoke earlier, I said I used to sing, but I was singing to myself, and I didn't think I sounded as good as other people. I knew I wasn't tone deaf, but I knew that I didn't feel like I was like as good. So when people would start telling me, oh, you could really sing, you should go for the talent show. Oh, you should go sign up for this. You should sign up for that. And I was like, no, y'all just telling me that because you're my friend. I don't believe, I didn't believe it. And then I kept on getting confirmation or affirmation from people saying it. And I was like, maybe I really am kind of good. Let me check, let me try, let me see. And it's good to have the affirmation from people, but we need to believe it ourselves. Because then the next thing that somebody says, oh, you sound horrible, you should never sing again. Then you're like, oh, well, maybe I better stop. You have to know for yourself. But yeah, I would just say for the reason why people have a hard time accepting it is probably the things that they've been told. If you've been told all your life that, your parents wasn't nobody, you won't ever be nobody, kids are cruel, you get bullied in school, and it starts young. And we don't think about the things that we tell kids. But I still remember the things that I was told from a child, and there are a lot of things that we have to, we have limiting beliefs, that we have to really break out of, because it's what we're told and what we believe about ourselves. And it's not true. We've allowed somebody else's beliefs and opinions to become our own. And so now we're like, I can't do this. I don't think I'd be successful at this. If I tried, I just fail. And then people will tell you, no, but you're really good. I can tell you, I see this in you. I can see this, how you can do this. You can take this and do this with. And they're just like, it sounds really great. You could probably do that, but I can't. And it's like, well, what's the difference between me and you? There's nothing special about me like that. It's just not, except the fact that I'm doing it. I was shy, believe it or not. I was an outgoing person, but I was shy. So I think shyness too can be a factor, or fear. Shy is fear. People don't want to believe that, but I believe shyness is a form of fear. It's a form of timidity, And then, like I said, I go back to my biblical affirmation, 2 Timothy, and I read that. It said, God haven't given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So then I started saying, well, why can't I speak? Why can't I sing? He gave me power, he gave me love, he gave me a sound mind. That's peace. So I'm missing something. If I don't have my peace, I need to find it. If I don't have love, well, I don't have love. If nobody's giving me love, I have to be the love that I need to see. You know what I'm saying? Until I find it. And then when you have that love, it radiates out. It's like that light inside of you. When they say let your light shine, you attract it because you are it. You attract what you are. I believe that, and it's giving you power. That's that empowerment part. So why can't you do it if he's put all these things in you? And like I said, whatever form of belief that you believe in, I look at all the different spiritualities and religions, and they're all so founded on the same type of principles, So it's like, why can't you? But it's all about in your heart and in your mind what you believe. And you have to shift out of it. You have to dare yourself to believe something foreign to you, So it's challenging.
Now, I like how you said basically reassurance. We have to reassure ourselves of not only our own capabilities, but we have to reassure ourselves that we have the ability of being the way that we want to be, feeling the feeling that we want to have. If we're at a space where we don't want to feel a certain way, well, we have a choice. And we have to believe, because you said that earlier, we got to believe that we can do something different. We can be something different. And we have accepted other people's opinions of us. And the only reason why you accept someone else's opinion of you is because you have not validated your own opinion of yourself.
Mhm.
And so when you have not validated your own opinion of yourself, you're looking to, well, what do they think? What do they say? Oh, well, I guess they do. I guess it is that way. So what has happened is people have started making deposits into you that you didn't say, hey, you don't even have an account here. So I can't even allow you to deposit what you're trying to deposit into this account because you don't have an account at this firm here, at this bank. So if you're the bank, you got to make sure that we're not allowing people to deposit into us who do not have an account with us, because we are the account. So you have the ability to say, nah, I reject that. I reject that. I'm not even accepting that. You have to, even if you don't say it out verbally, you say it mentally. Nope, I don't believe that. And then, I remember we talked about it as kids, right? And then, as kids, you used to say, like, anything you say to me, back to you, it bounces off of me, it goes back to you, right? But that was actually a way of us rejecting somebody saying something negative to us so we don't accept it. And it, crazy as it might sound, it did work for some people.
It did. It empowered us, because I was like, that's you, that's not me.
Exactly. But that's because we have already reassured ourselves of who we are and validated ourselves of who we are and what we are. We know what we don't want to accept. Mm-hmm. And so when you do not validate yourself, you don't reassure yourself, well, you just kind of accept whatever somebody's opinion of you is, because you have no foundation of what your own opinion of you is. So it becomes very, very tough. So now let me ask you this, because as an empowerment coach and an author of your book and your poetry, and I know you spoke of that, right? And you was like, oh, well, I put the raw in there, but I wanted to put the little spin on the back end. So I don't want you to just be on the negative side, right? So what feeling did you get from actually writing that information down? Because that was you empowering yourself enough to actually express this out in words, how you felt. What was the feeling that you got when you did that?
When I wrote the words, or when I published the book?
Both.
Or when I put the book. Well, when I wrote the words down, like I said, I started writing, that was about like maybe my 9th grade in high school, because I didn't have anybody to talk to. So it was necessary at that time. When I was writing, I needed to write. It was necessary. It was life. It was therapy. It was my diary, whatever it was. I had to get those feelings out, because that was that soda bottle. And I didn't explode a lot, but when I did, it was like it was bad. So, I was like, I don't want to be crazy, like I need to get this out now, because I'm going to continue to think about it until I get it out. So it was just like, and I'm like that now. If something comes to me and it's in my head, I got to write it now. It's got to get it out. I got to write it before I lose it. I got to express. It was an expression, like you said. It was a form that I couldn't express myself any other way. I couldn't talk to anybody. So that was me talking to somebody. That was me telling somebody how I felt, because I couldn't do that. And so to put it all together, when I did the book, I put all the poems together. I put some new, some old, it's a mixture. But to see it, and then I added some quotes in there, some affirmations, some scriptures that I felt like connected it all together and brought that positive. And it felt I just felt relieved when I published it. I was like, I did it. It's a feeling of like, and it took 4 years, and it didn't take 4 years to do it, but the process of so many things that happened over the time period of me trying to do it and put it together and publish it, and then go with a publishing company and then self-published, and it was just a journey. But after all the things that I went through, because I went through so much, it was like, I can see it. I held it in my hands, and it was like, just exciting. And so, then to have people read it, I just came from a women's gathering. A friend had a birthday party, and I spoke there and told him about the book. And it was just, to me, and I'm not a crier, like a big crier, but they almost had me to tears. I was gangster, I held it in, but I was almost tears because they each one of them picked up a book, and one lady, she opened up the book, right, and she opened it up to like the quote and the scripture, or the affirmation and the scripture, whatever. And she was like, "Oh my God, this is me. This is all my," whatever the reason was. She was like, "This is me. This is talking to me." And so other people was like, "I want to get a book too. I want to see what I get." So they was buying the books, and I'm looking like, "Oh wow!" They handed me mom trying to sign books, and I'm like, "Oh wow, more well." And so then they're all opening up these books, and I feel like I'm in a movie or something. They're just like, "Oh my God, this speaks to me. Somebody told me I should be singing, and this is talking about music is me, and this and this and that." And then one got something else, and then but each one got a different one, and it spoke to them. And they're like, "This book is prophesied, talking to us. It's about me." And I'm like, "But it was about me when I wrote it. But it's not about me anymore." And that's one thing I learned, when you put things out there, such as the book, or even in coaching, is, teaching people, encouraging them. It starts with you and your story and what you experience, but it becomes about the person that is reading it, or the person that you're helping, the person, their experience. And I was just like in amazement, and like that feeling right there is priceless. It was just like, when what God gave you to create, and you know your struggle that you went with, your hurt, your pain, your confusion, whatever, and you got through it, you came out of it, and then you publish it, and there's other people look at it and it helps them. It's like, there's no greater joy to me to see that. So I don't even have words to express. It's just joy, I guess.
Amazing. And everything that I hear from what you're saying is the writing was necessary for you to be your own support system, because you say you didn't have anybody to talk to express this, right? And we feel that way sometimes because how we're feeling, only we know that feeling, and we can't always put those feelings into words. We can't always feel comfortable enough to express this information to somebody else, because it's like in our minds, we like, I don't know if I should feel this way, if I really do feel this way. Oh, what are they going to think if I start telling them that I feel this way? We have so many scenarios that we run through in our head to why we don't openly express ourselves. And what you're saying is, one of the necessary tools that we use is writing our feelings down, because it does empower us, because it gives us an opportunity to have a voice to ourselves.
Yes.
And so when no one else is listening to us, we are listening to us, and we are reading what we are saying and how we actually feel. And then we can actually assess, why do you feel that way? Is this what's really going on? What are you going to do to overcome this feeling? So it's like you are really empowering yourself by writing this stuff down. And I see what you're saying. Like, you wrote this over a time frame, and people are like, "Oh no," they're resonating with it, right? They're validating your skill, your craft, and your experiences is empowering them. So it's like, as you said, it's not about me anymore. It's about you now. And that's just beautiful, because it's very difficult for us sometimes to find that space where we can actually do that. And you created a safe space for yourself and for other people. So I just want to commend you again on that and everything that you're doing, and definitely keep up the good work. So if there was something that you wanted people to take away from this, what would that information be?
The main message that I always want to share with people is that we are here on this earth for a purpose, for a reason. We all matter. So I would tell people, you matter. Sometimes we feel like we're on this earth and we're just floating. You're just here, you're going through the motions each day. Got to get up, like you said, you go get your hair done, your nails done. You go to work, you pick up the kids, you do your routine, but you don't really feel like you're living, or like you have a purpose other than just being the worker, the mom, the wife, excuse me. But you have a specific purpose. You have something that you're here to do. There are people here for you to help. And, you know, it may not be on a big stage. It may not be a large group of people. It may be one person. It may be a few people, but there's somebody that needs you. You know what I mean? So I would tell you, just know that you matter. And if you feel like you don't matter, and, just keep living, just keep moving, keep breathing. I don't want to say, people always say, well, somebody has it worse off than you. And I know somebody has it better off, somebody has it worse off. But you are just you. God made you, or whoever you believe in, put you here on this earth to be you. Nobody else can do what you do. Nobody else can sound like you. Nobody else can move like you. Nobody else has your gifts and your talents the way that you use them. So I would say use whatever God or whatever you have, your gifts, your intelligence, your intellect, your humor. It's something special that you have. And if you don't ask the people around you, they'll tell you. And you'll hear people, I say, oh, you can always do this. You do this the best. You do this better than anybody I know. You can cook, you can, whatever it is, you dance, you're funny, you command attention. There's something that you do. And you bring life to people. You bring joy to people. So, look inside and see what it is, that you bring, because you bring joy, you bring meaning. You are important, you matter, and you are enough just the way you are. You don't have to change. You don't have to look like anybody else. You don't have to sound like anybody else. You may feel strange, may feel weird or different, but the beauty in being different, I tell people, that's your superpower. That's what makes you stand out. You're meant to stand out. You're not meant to look like anybody else or sound like anybody else. Like a mother knows her babies cry. When you get up to speak, people gonna know that's you. When you get up to do your thing, people gonna know that's your signature move. That's you all day, So, excuse me, my voice going out. But that's what I was sharing.
Definitely, I appreciate that. And, everything that I heard from that was we can no longer live on autopilot. We have to manually take control of the wheel, and we have to do the driving. We have to do the steering. We can't allow the mundane things of life to just coast us through. We gotta, as you said earlier, intentionally know exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, because we are in control of us. So the only person that we are in control of is yourself. We are not in control of anybody else. We got to remember that our emotions are meant to be felt. And I always say emotions is energy in motion. So if we are in control of the will, we have the ability to control the way the motions are going to go. It's up to us. And so I just want to say thank you again for this opportunity, for coming on here. How can people, if they want to get coaching from you, if they want to get your book, they want to subscribe to you, how can people do that? What is your information?
I am on Facebook under my name, Deshante Fuqua, and I know I spell it out, Deshante, and the last name Fuqua. On Instagram, I'm under Coach Day, COACHDAE _ Have on a nice little yellow thing. I look at my long hair. And and for the book is on Amazon. It's called I Am the Potter's Clay, Poems, Quotes, and Prose. And you can also go to my website. I have alldayservices.com, and it's day spelled DAE. So ALLDAE services.com. And you can order it from me personally, or just message me, inbox me. I'm open.
Listen, thank you again. I appreciate this opportunity for you coming here again as well. So remember, I always say greatness is a mindset. If you do not have a mindset of greatness, and your greatness was just circumstantial, when circumstances were not favorable, then you would no longer be great. But because greatness is a mindset, and if you have the mindset of greatness, you can change the circumstances because you are great. So remember, I always say, go be great. All right. So now it's time for Ask Mr. Mindful Minute. So please, what is your question for Mr. Mindful Minute?
All right. My first question is, what is your purpose?
So I believe that my purpose is helping people to believe in themselves, helping people to learn how to use affirmations to become the person that they want to be. I believe that my gift is showing people how to take unfavorable circumstances in life and use that energy for their own benefit and learn that it was for them. It didn't happen to them, it happened for them. So they are now in control of every single circumstance that happens in their life. Not saying that it's going to always work out, not saying that it's going to always be good, but if you are in control of how you want the energy to be actually received, then now you're going to also be encouraged by yourself. I teach people how to be their own accountability partner. So I think that that's what my part of what my purpose is helping people to realize that they really need to tap into themselves first before they tap into anything or anybody else.
I love that answer. So you're teaching people to be their authentic self and to be, you said, your own accountability. I love that because so many people don't have somebody to be, to hold them accountable, or so, wow, that's amazing. I love that. Okay. So my next question for you then is, what made you realize that that was your purpose and that you had this gift to give to people, to teach them how to do this?
I'm gonna say what made me realize it was about 2 years ago when I actually decided to get into the realm of coaching and things like that because I'm part of my disassessment, right? Is I'm a supportive person. So I like people's experience with me. So I always try to see how I can help out, how I can live. But I'm a very, very caring person. When I ask people, hey, how are you doing? It's not a greeting to me. I really want to know, how are you doing? And how can I actually help you in any type of way that I can? Whether it's a conversation, whether it's monetary, whether it's just a visit, it doesn't matter what it is because I truly care about people. So I realized that I had the ability to do something that most people did not have, which is taking circumstances in life and using those things to make them better. So I know that that's very difficult. And so I'm now actually gravitating more into the realm of coaching people that deal with depression and anxiety and stress and using those affirmations and that. So it made me say, I always believe that, well, as we talked about earlier, every person that I help, I'm not really helping them. I'm just helping me. And they're just a reflection of what I wanted someone to say to me when I was going through something. So every single thing that I do, when a person say, yo, you really changed my life, or you really doing this, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm really changing my life. I'm really this is what's happening. So it gives me an opportunity to actually say, how can I continue to better me so I can continue to help other people? So it just made me realize that I had something and I just wanted to take that to the next level. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably about 2 years ago, I started really like I learned about Eric Thomas. I didn't even know who Eric Thomas was about 2 years ago. And I got motivated by him. And one of his videos, I was watching his videos and watching his videos, and then I was making changes and making adjustments. And one of his videos said, stop watching my videos, and now it's time for you to go and motivate somebody else. And that was the moment that I said, okay, this is what I'm going to start doing.
Itchy. Wow. Okay. So, wow. So you said you shifted over more into helping people that have depression and anxiety. So as we know, like people have different energy, different spirits, different traumas, So as a coach, you're dealing with people that have a lot of trauma, have a lot of different some would say negative thoughts or negative feelings, and it's your job, maybe would say, to get them out of that and shift them out by the affirmations. So I wanted to ask you, how do you then, after you're done speaking with so many people that are in that mind state, how do you keep yourself in a positive state of mind and not let those, those thoughts and those stories and of the people and the spirit of them, affect you?
Oh, that's a great question. So something that I do with all of my clients is, before I start coaching them, before the session actually happens, I say my own affirmation. When the session actually ends, I say my own affirmations, because I say affirmations that is going to protect me for this category, right? Because I believe that you should have affirmations for every single category of your life. So if I have seven clients, well, guess what? I got 7 different affirmation sets that I say before I talk to each of those clients. So that is how I actually protect myself. But I learned a long time ago that that's necessary, because you have to take information in, but you do not have to take information on. So I make sure I take information in, but I don't take it on. I don't make it become me. So, and what happens is, people, it's a thing called being an empath. And usually what happens is, people that are empaths, they take information on. They don't take it in. I mean, they take it in, but they don't just take it on. See, I don't take it in. I just take it on. I say, oh, okay, I got it, but I ain't making that become me. So just because you're crying doesn't mean that I'm going to cry. Because I'm not going to make what you have, what you are, how you are, become me. Because I got to remember that I got to protect my being. And so those are some of the things that I actually do to protect my being when I'm dealing with my different clients and things like that, and making sure that I don't now become what I'm helping people to do. And that's very, very key, because it's almost as if a person had some, let's say if you were taking care of a sickly person. Well, studies have shown more people die from taking care of sick people than the sick person themselves, because that energy in that atmosphere, and like being around people that are, a certain way, and there's that gets into you. So if you don't do something to protect you, then all of that is in the atmosphere, and all of that is going on, that is going to permeate into you. And the reason that I do that is because, again, as I said, if you don't replace something that you're taking out, then now you're void, right? And now you have the opportunity for all types of energies to come inside you and rest and be you. And I don't want that within me. So I make sure I put that protection around myself with my affirmations that I say whatever I need to say. So I had so many different affirmations that I use, even just, for example, just to wake up. I say affirmations just to wake me up, right? So that's something that I do.
That is beautiful. I love that, because what you said is so important, to protect ourselves. And even, like you said, even not as a coach, just as a person in everyday life. We go to work, we go to school, we go to events with people, all kind of thing, and we hold conversations with people. And these people are putting all this out into the atmosphere, like you said, and then we're not protected. That's an awesome thought, and something to think about for me and for everyone, like you said, to apply that. That's awesome. So I have another question for you. My next question is, I know you have your family. So as a coach, do you find yourself coaching your family or your friends around you all the time? Are you like always in coach mode, or do you like shift out of that at some point? Or is it impossible to separate the two?
When I first started becoming a coach, I found myself coaching everybody, right? And I just found that. But what I realized is, it is not my position in their life to actually do that. That's not my role. So I stopped actually positioning myself to be what I'm not supposed to be for them in that area of their life. So everybody else, yeah, I might be their coach and stuff like that, but that's my position in their life. Well, for my daughter, for example, well, my position in her life is not to be her coach. My position in her life is to father her and to nurture her and to guide and direct her. Well, yeah, there are going to be aspects where it's like I'm coaching, but it's not the same way that I would do somebody else. So we gotta, I have to remember, no, I can't be doing this, even though I'm like, I just jump right into coach mode. And sometimes I have to just check myself, right? Because as a coach, you'll find yourself unknowingly giving people information that they didn't ask for. And when you're a coach, well, you automatically see certain stuff. So you're like, yo, let me tell you about this and let me tell you about that. And so I had to learn that the GPS system, which is me helping people to see things that they can't necessarily see. Well, I can't actually try to do that for my family and for my friends because that's not who I am in their life. And so I learned that I'm a big person on saying you got to love everybody the same but differently. And so if I'm doing that, I had to learn, oh, well, how I certain things that I might say to a client, I would never say that to my mother. I would never say that to one of my friends and stuff like that because they may not pivoted their mind in a way to actually receive the information from a coaching standpoint because of the closeness to us. And then so they may not be able to receive it from me the way that another one of my clients will, because my clients see me as an expert in as a coach. Well, the family and friends may not see me as an expert as the coach. They just see me for who they know me as.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't try to be what I am to the rest of the world and try to be that to my family and friends at the same time, because that will become, when you're very close to somebody, it's easier to see the imperfections in the people that you're close to than the people that you're far away from.
Mm. That's excellent. I like what you said about your position. It's so funny. I was just speaking about position for purpose, and you have a purpose in each person's life, like you said, each role that you play, and it's so amazing, like you said, that you're able to distinguish that because just like you said, as a coach or as a teacher, there are certain things that are in us you want to just automatically jump into that. So that takes great wisdom and then also self-awareness too, to be able to separate that. So I applaud you for that. That's awesome.
I promise you, it ain't always easy, right? It's difficult. And and again, sometimes I ain't saying it don't come out sometimes. But I just gotta check myself and I just feel like, all right. And that's when I just kind of be like, okay, I'm not here to give you results. And I'm just here to listen right now. That's all I'm doing. All I'm going to do is just listen to you, and that's it.
That's awesome. Well, I think I have one more question, and that will conclude my questions. So, what are you planning for next year? We're almost to the end of the year. So, what are you looking to do and to accomplish in the next year?
In the next year, I'm hoping to do a conference. I'm hoping to have both my books published. I'm hoping to actually do a lot more motivational videos and also put my clothing brand out a lot more. And I'm also hoping that I can actually partner with some behavior health clinics to help people from that standpoint. That's something that I'm hoping to do next year as well. And then also partner with employee assistance programs. So with like different companies where people that are dealing with different things, stress, anxiety, depression, and things like that, the company would actually reach out to me in reference to that person, and then I can now be able to help more people from that aspect. So that's some of the things that I plan on being able to do come next year.
You are going to be busy.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to ask you all these questions. I've learned a lot today. Thank you. I feel like you can coach me.
Hey, listen, that's what we're doing, right? We're reflection. It's just a reflection. That's all it is. It's just a reflection.
That's right.
So I just want to say thank you for joining on this segment of Ask Mr. Mindful Minute. So remember, greatness is within you. And go be great.
You're in control of how you feel. You're in control. You are the determining factor of your feelings. No one else can control how you feel. Remember, you're in control how you feel. So control your feelings.